Electric and Power earlier in the afternoon. Nigel was speaking about how the stock has not performed to early promise since the IPO. It has lost a lot of ground. Gautam Seth, Joint Managing Director of HPL Electric, joins us. Mr. Seth, thank you very much for joining. What went wrong actually in your numbers? I mean, we are actually seeing a fall of revenue, fall of 22% in the first half. Profit down 65%. That's not what we got to hear in the IPO. What went wrong in the first half?
If you see, the fundamentals of HPL Electric are still very strong. We have an order book of 365 crores, which is almost at, I would say, an all-time high. These, of course, includes a lot of orders on the metering front. We even got a large order from the Gujarat Electricity Board. You will realize that in the past 6 months, we have seen very less tenders being finalized on the metering. And this has been mainly due to a lot of ambiguity in terms of the process, because we are seeing the smart meters coming. There's a change happening now from the electronic, which were more conventional in nature, coming to the smart meters. Of late, we see that there is a good amount of clarity on that, and we have seen certain new tenders coming in. Also, we had a lot of material which could have been dispatched, which is, of course, like a one-time delay, because, you know, it happens. There are procedures involving the utilities where we get the DIs and all. So that led to certain loss of sales and the inventory going up higher.
Okay.
Now, if you see... So similarly, but
so H2?
Yeah, so looking at the orders, what we have, and the way our teams have been focusing now on giving performances, we definitely see a much better business to happen in the H2 of the year.
All right, you know, Gautam, you're sounding confident, but you're talking about an order book of what, 370 crores in a year. You do more than 1,000 crores, so you have visibility of what, just around maybe a little more than a quarter. Why is that so? You're saying you're getting more tenders that are likely to come in. What could that amount be? And also on both the fronts, so much of positive news on meters, so much of positive news on the lighting space. Degrowth in both segments are there.
Yeah, I'll just, if you see, when we talk about the order book, these are mainly the institutional orders or the utility orders. Our more than 50% businesses, generally what we say is the B2C business, which comes in through the trade, which involves a mix of retail. There are institutionals, commercial establishments. So it's a very large, diversified customer portfolio what we have. The orders in that flow on a month-to-month basis. So generally, there is not a big pileup of orders. So when we look at the second half, and most of these orders, what we are talking about are of the metering, which are more utility driven.
No, so how is the demonetization hit? Are you seeing a fall off of sales?
You know, when we see on a very near short term, yes, on the retail market, that may be impacted. But if you see the direct business, what HPL Electric is doing with its dealers and distributors, there is no fallout on that, because there's no cash involvement directly happening between the company with its dealers or anybody.
Right. Yeah, but when you see Gautam, on the second half,
on the tertiary level,
yeah,
when we see the retail level, that is where I guess there could be certain fallout on that. But the HPL's product portfolio and the customer profile, if you see, we are very much diversified, having mix of the institutional utility, we supply to the panel builders and also largely to the trade, and which also involves the retail. So certain portion of our business may get affected.
What percentage?
When you look at that, I won't be able to define a percentage, but what we are also doing is that we have rechannelized our working, where the focus would also remain largely on a short-term basis on the institutional side, on industries and on OEMs and others, so that we tide over. By the time we come to know of the exact impact of what this demonetization may have.
All right, Gautam, give us some final guidelines then. You know, what are your revenues going to look like, say, for FY17, FY18, and also You said you're raising this money from the IPO. You're going to be paying back your debt. What is the debt currently? Because your stock is more than halved.
Yeah, we have, like what was there in the IPO, we have paid off 320 crores of the debt, and we expect a substantial interest saving coming in on a quarter-to-quarter basis. Also, this again helps us to have a better bargaining power on the remaining debt on our interest costs. What is also significant is that we have been working on the channel financing, and we already have many dealers who have signed up. So this will bring in a better credit control, better the credit efficiency, what would come in the business.
Yeah, Gautam, running out of time, but really, do you see this, even in the second half, DISCOMs giving you any orders? Yeah. The GST is one confusion. The states don't know how much money they will have for investing. The demonetization also is going to hit toll revenues and other kinds of revenues that maybe they will be making at the check nakas. Are you really seriously expecting the DISCOMs are going to spend on your meters this quarter or next?
Yes, in fact, among all the customer profile, what I see in the electrical industry, utility is one customer who actually does not get impacted by the demonetization. And only in the last 2 months, we have seen a lot of new tenders coming out by various states. The biggest one, what got finalized, we have got a bulk of the order. So I don't see any reason why the utilities will not spend for something concerning on demonetization or even the GST.
Okay, well, I'm only wondering whether they will have enough money until all the confusion settles, but we'll worry about that. Thank you very much, Gautam Seth, for joining us with a ground check on how things are panning out for HPL Electric. Take a quick break. We are getting we're getting you more on the markets and some stock-specific advice as well.